Hello team, welcome to another ATP Geopolitics video with myself, Jonathan MS Pearce. Sod's Law. I do my hits and losses video this morning, which is jam-packed full of loads of stuff. It's all happening at the moment. And two videos drop just as I press go on my video and just missed adding these two videos that I normally would into my montage, if you like, my smorgasbord of what's taken place over the front line over the last 48 hours. Well, these two videos are videos that I love showing. These are PRYMARY videos of FB2 drones and other probably similar drones striking really important equipment, particularly Crimea. The PRYMARY or Ghosts unit is incredibly prolific and incredibly successful. I was talking about how I think that they've opened the floodgates in Crimea by attriting the Russian air defenses and radars to a critical point that it then becomes progressively easier and easier to attrit further radars and air defense systems, but also just have more and more success. It's a snowball effect in Crimea. And we really are seeing that. And I would like to see that just north of the border, where these, possibly this same unit, takes on the Russian air defense and radars that are lined up along, I presume, the border areas, or maybe a couple hundred kilometers back into Russia, so that they can shoot down the Ukrainian drones and missiles that come across the border each night. And I'd love to see a real fundamental degradation of Russian air defenses there to open the floodgates north of the border and into Russia. But it's certainly happened, I think, in Crimea, and we have two more examples today. So let's get on and look at these videos. Remember, if you haven't already liked, subscribed, or shared, please do so. Help out the channel, but also keep yourselves in the loop. Right, let's look at these videos. So I will get my face out of the view here just in a second, but let's talk about this first. This first one: Ukraine's Special Operations Forces struck a moving fuel train near Yantarne. Now, this is nothing I'd heard of. So we hadn't heard of any news of a train being struck, as far as I know, and an oil depot in Bitumne in occupied Crimea, along with a Volna-2 electronic warfare station in Marianovka and an FPV operator training center near Dokuchaevsk in Donetsk region, using FP2 drones overnight. So this was last night already. This video has been released. So we can add a train onto what we already understood to have been targets. I'd heard about a drone laboratory, we heard. I don't know if that's, drone operator training center. So that sounds like that was that. We heard electronic warfare station being hit. So I think this is what was reported last night, but it's just the train aspect we hadn't heard of. So let's have a look at this video, see what you think. Now, these FP2 drones have 200-kilometer ranges and a 105-kilogram warhead. So these are sizable explosives that they have on board there, and bang, that's going to cause some serious trouble. And there you go, there's that serious trouble. The train is in serious trouble. And then we have what this is in Bitumne. So this is, that looks to be like an oil depot there, and there you can see it from the side, on fire. This is probably the, I'm just trying to work out the Ukrainian here. So this could well be this is the FPV drone operator center. So the one before was an electronic warfare point. Drone operating center getting taken out by that drone, and then again by a second drone. So being hit several times, making sure it is fully put out of operation. And then a third drone, by the looks of it, just to make sure, right in the middle there. Oh, unfortunately it hits broadly where the first one hit, but still that should put it out of its misery, the FPV training center. And yeah, just showing you that train again, hit once, train has stopped, and then hit again, and then yeah, that's in trouble, that train. So that's all good news there. And then we hear of another PRYMARY video striking in Crimea, where the team hunted down two expensive radars. They struck precisely at the Russian radars, the 39N6 Castor 2E2. A number of those have been taken out over recent months in Crimea, and then 96L6, which is part of the S-400 Triumph air defense missile system. Oh, damn it! Got caught out by the old music there. Here we have the PRYMARY unit doing their thing, taking out different pieces of kit. So I do like the old PRYMARY lot. They do a damn good job by the looks of it. So here we have one of their radar systems. Bang. That's not going to be working the next day, is it? And here we have one for the S-400 air defense system. That is an expensive piece of kit. As you can see here, the drone, I don't know how easy these drones are to control. As you can see, it's sort of banking left and right. It's swinging around quite a bit. So it might be challenging. That could be the winds. It could be a crosswind going on there. You don't know. It's very hard to tell. And then you don't know what the lag is between, if there's like a 2-second lag, as soon as you start getting closer and closer to the target, it becomes more and more of an issue, or that lag can be the difference between hitting right on the noggin or just missing. So here, if you're hypercritical, you're thinking, right, we're hitting just on the ground in front of that radar system. But if that's a 105 kilogram warhead, that radar system is still going to be done for. So even if it hits just where I was indicating, just here, then I'm pretty sure that radar system is still not going to be operational. But you can see it sort of tipping either way here as it's coming in there. Quite sure whether that's wind or operator issues or whatever. But anyway, assuming the best there, we've got a whole range of stuff getting taken out. We've got 2 radars, one distinctly explicitly for an air defense system. We've got a moving fuel train that was taken out, an oil depot in Bitumne, and then you've got an electronic warfare station and an FPV operator training center that had 3 of these FP2s hitting. I've talked to you, how many times have I mentioned that FP2 drones and the like are game changers? All you need is scale, and we're starting to see a significant enough scale of production, evidently, these FP2 drones. If that's what's happened overnight, and assuming all of those FP2 drones, and there's 3 of them on, there's 2 on a train there, 3 on the drone operating center, 1 on the electronic warfare center, so that's 6, and then you've got 1 on each of the pieces of equipment, assuming they are FP2s there. I don't know if that was definitely confirmed that they're FP2s on the other 2. They might have been smaller drones, so there might not have been 105 kilogram warheads hitting those radars. Nonetheless, if they are FP2s, you're talking 8 in a single night. Now they could have been stockpiled, but what you want to see is I mean, goodness, if the Russians can make 500 Shaheds a day, right, or thereabouts, 200, 300, 500, whatever, imagine 200 FP2 drones, 200 FP2 drones a day, a night, being sent into the near rear of the Russians. That's a game changer. You start then hitting troop accumulate. If you're firing 8 a night, right, and you're picking and choosing your targets, you're thinking, right, we need to take out air defense systems, right, we need to take out that, we need to take out this. You have 200 a night. You're like, well, that's every plane on every runway within 200 kilometers of where we're sending these bad boys from. Right, okay, that's no plane left on Crimea, and helicopters. And then you're thinking, right, okay, that's 1 night. We just concentrated 1 night on every single plane and helicopter we could find. Next night it's going to be like, I don't know, just you go from the near rear. Eventually you're just striking the troops on the front line, and you're using these as a substitute for aviation. It's incredibly important. Like, how long have I been banging on about this? Just scaling up the production of stuff like FP2 drones. If you had 200 FP2 drones per night, the Russians would be done for. they would be done for. 1,400 105 kilogram warheads smacking down on the Russians in a week. 1,400 in a week. There'll be nothing left within 200 kilometers. Remember when ATACMS came along and they had to move everything back 100 kilometers, and now the Ukrainians are kind of either run short of ATACMS, not ATACMS, Gimlers. Yeah, the 84 kilometer sort of HIMARS. HIMARS came online, and they're like, all these HIMARS rockets got missiles got 84 kilometer range. Let's move everything back 100 kilometers because we are getting shellacked, say the Russians, in that 100 kilometer corridor. And then they slowly been moving stuff forward as the Russians have either got better at using electronic warfare and interfering with the HIMARS, the Gimlers missiles, or the Ukrainians are running shorter on those Gimlers missiles. And then you like bring on the FP2s, you're like, dude, you're in trouble. Anything within 200 kilometers is done for. We're gonna smack it down. Incredible stuff. I want to see more of this kind of footage every day. And the more we see, the more they're using. The more they're using, the more the Russians are going to be hurting. This is super important. Anyway, that's enough of me weighing on. Take care. Speak soon.